Oh, nah, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Peace, family, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. We are live again. We are live once again. Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in on last night. Last night was phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. I can't thank you guys enough. Last night was for me. Last night was a treat for me. First of all, thank you. Thank you. Because last night's live session hit, according to the analytics, there were 1,500 people that tuned in last night. Now, that's a good or a bad thing. It's a good thing because that means that 1,500 people really want to know this information on how to fully change their life and live the life that you so truly deserve to live. Or in the bad sense, that's 1,498 people that want to mess this game up for the rest of us. But at any rate, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I thank all of you who sent in questions, either my inbox, the comment section, or email, because it's because of you. That's why I'm doing a part 2 tonight. Because of you, I'm doing a part 2. Not only did you guys ask questions, you asked the right questions. And there is a difference. Now, there's not, some people would say there's not a wrong question. Some people would say there's not a wrong question. But you guys give me just a quick second, man. See, boo. Well, it never fails. I'm live on Facebook now. Now, there's not a wrong question, but there are obvious questions. And obvious questions are some just basic common sense. Some stuff you just shouldn't ask. But you guys asked the right questions, which leads to tonight. So this is what we're going to do. I didn't get a chance to answer a lot of those questions last night. I have my comments on both TikTok and on the podcast. So I will be able to see your questions. So now this is why I don't have a lot of live commentary on my lives, because I have so much information to give you guys. I won't be able to get it all out if people are interrupting and asking questions. So if you have a question, write it in the comment or save it to the last 15 minutes of the episode, the podcast, or the live. We're going to try to get this thing done from 7:30 to 8:30. So at 8:15, I'm going to stop, and we're going to answer all of your questions that you may have. Now, some of the questions that you asked, I'm going to re-show you guys the stamp because you couldn't see it. So I'm going to show you the right stamps to get from the United States Post Office in order for you to be able to properly autograph your remittance coupons or your bills, period. I talked last night and told you guys that there are not, a lot of companies aren't sending out remittance coupons. They are sending out just regular printouts. They're sending out regular printouts with your bill amount and when you need to pay it. But you can still use that because that entire paper is still classified as a bill. Now, I got my whiteboard out. So for y'all of you on TikTok, you can see it. But those of you who are on the podcast, y'all can't see it until I get it in front because it's back there by the green screen. But I'm going to show you tonight how to properly autograph your bills, not endorse. We do not endorse. This is that bait game that a lot of other people on social media give y'all, and it's falsehood. Just that word endorse is falsehood. that still directs that bill back to you and not to be paid by your straw man. You want your bills all to go to the straw man that was created the day you was born when your parents signed for you a birth certificate and a social security card. It was a straw man. So you can write that word down and look that term up. Now, let me give you guys a little bit more understanding real quick before we jump off into how to properly set yourself up and your family for success. I don't set up anybody. That's what the other folks do. They take your money and then they do all the work and then they send you all your paperwork. Now, why I don't do that? Why you don't do that, Muhammad? If I did it for you, that's not helping you. It's not helping you at all. Why? Because you don't know how to protect your it wrong. Then they're gonna start having questions. They're gonna start see now. This is where we start learning linguistics and phonetics. Write those two words down: linguistics and phonetics. Law speaks in terms that we as regular people don't speak. In the legal profession, just like the medical profession, they still use Latin terms or Pig Latin. Pig Latin is a dead language. But when you start hearing terms like habeas corpus, that's not English. When you start hearing a lot of legal jargon, we have to now take these words and we have to go to a phonetic dictionary or a linguistic dictionary and find out the origin of the word, because that's where we truly know what it means. I encourage each and every last one of you, like I tell all of my clients, go on to Amazon and buy you a Black's Law Dictionary. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be your business Bible, for lack of a better term. You need to study that Black's Law Dictionary. If you don't have any other book in your bookcase, you need that one. Now, let's get right down to the tax of it. So first, let me clear up these old questions that came out last night. The stamps. Now, for those of you who are on TikTok, these are the $1 stamps. $1 stamps. Podcast people. These are the $5 stamps. $5 stamps. $5, $1. Now, and it's still in the same envelope that come from the United States Post Office that I ordered them. Now, let me clear up something real quick. When you go online and order those stamps, they are not coming right away. I'm just going to prepare you for this. Remember, I told you, I'm never going to lie to you. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when you order those stamps, look for those stamps to come in 2 to 3 months. I know. I know it don't take mail 2 to 3 months to get to you. But ladies and gentlemen, listen to the understanding of the powers that be. How did you know What do you know about these $1, $5, $10, and $20 stamps while you ordering them? The average person, the average American, you don't mail nothing with a $1, $5, $10, $20 stamp. Red flag. I mean, man, that's a big Toro the Bull red flag. Somebody's been talking, and they are going to make you wait. Don't panic. You won't even have a tracking number for the first 45 days. I'm telling you, the guys are the truth. Boy, I was giving the post office the blues when I first started doing it. And nobody at your local post office are going to know anything because you ordered them online from the federal post office building. The one that's not in your city. So the local branches won't have it. You're going to get it. You are going to get them because you have record and proof that you paid for it with your credit card or your debit card. We're going to get the debit card. Well, no, that's a game that I give to my clients home. Debit cards are the devil. Get away from them. Debit card don't help you at all. And don't let nobody, no bank tell you that your business needs a debit card. No business has a debit card. That's free game. That's free game. That's a setup. If the bank tells you they're going to give you a business debit card, that's a setup. And don't let them tell you you need a business savings account. That's a setup. See, this is why I teach. Because all of these other entities, Taylor Brands and LegalZoom and all of them folks that set your stuff up for you, and then they just send you your articles and information, and then you walk into that bank and you setting up a bank, and then that bank just started making you pay $500 deposits to open up a business bank account. I had one client that was up in North Florida. Wells Fargo told her she needed 2 $500 business accounts. I just started laughing. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing. When you, as a regular person, now just look at this, your banking information. You've been with your bank for however long you've been with your bank. They know every intricate financial information they need to know about you. They know when your direct deposit checks are coming in. They know how and where you're spending money at. They know you got paid on Friday, you're going to be broke on Monday. That's just based off of your financial statements. I make a joke about this with my training courses. I can look at anybody's financial statements and tell you where you're throwing money away. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight, because and several things we're going to talk about tonight. But one, while this is on my mind, let me get to the proper way to autograph your endorsement check. I'm just going to draw a little square. This is going to simulate the stamp. All right. Well, no, I can't do that because I got to write into the middle of it. All right. So this is the stamp. Now, for those of y'all who are on TikTok, y'all can see this. I'm going to try to move it closer. There we go. So here we go. This is the board. Damn it, my mic is in the way. Okay. So let me get this ready for my podcast people because the green screen started off. All right, here we go. Now, here's some things that you're going to need. Y'all want to write this down. You're going to have to get a red Sharpie, get the thick one, and you also want a fine point red Sharpie. While you're back there in the stationery department, you also want to get you a red ink pad. The ink pad. You got the little sponge in it. You got to pour the red ink in there. You need that. And then, now, this won't work until you first take back ownership of your name. But I'm giving y'all this game, and then I'm going to tell you what you got to do in order to use this method in order for you to pay your bills with postage stamps, right? So if everybody on TikTok can see, everybody on the podcast can see, drop a 1 in the comment so I can make sure that everybody has they are ready and available. All right, just drop a 1 if you can see it. All right, if not, I can move some adjustments around. The first thing you're going to do on that stamp, you are going to, let me just write my name because I can't write this down. First thing you're going to do, this is why I gave y'all the information about the UPU Treaty. The UPU Treaty of 1863, and it was amended in 1868 and just added some other stuff to it because more countries got involved. So you want to download that. You can download that in a PDF file. Now that treaty is huge. Don't think that you can, man, look, you ain't got a terabyte on your phone. I don't know. They might got one with the iPhone Pro Max 3000. I don't know. And it's too huge of a file to even put on a laptop or a computer unless you got a terabyte hard drive, external hard drive. But I will tell you, once you download it, print that thing off, because that thing is a telephone book. Print it off, and then delete it off of your laptop or your computer, because that's a huge file. It's going to take up a lot of space. That thing has so much information in it. And then it's going to validate what I'm telling you now on how to autograph, not endorse, your remittance coupons or your bills. Now, this just doesn't apply to your utility bills. You can direct or redirect any bill that comes in your name in all caps to your straw man at the Federal Reserve. This works for all bills: your mortgage, your rent, your car note, your insurance, anything that comes in a bill, a debt. First, your name must be in all caps. That's the straw man, the all caps. When you sign or endorse your name, you write the first letter capital and the rest lowercase. You are rediverting the bill back to you. The bill comes in all caps for the straw man. But when you take that and endorse it, you just told the straw man, I got it. I'll pay it. It's for real. All right, so I'm going to show y'all how to do this. I'm just going to write my name. Now I'm going to tell y'all how to do this. You're going to write your name very small and all lowercase letters. All lowercase letters. And you're going to write it diagonally from the top right. Start. I'm going to put start so you got to see this. And then finish. You're going to write it diagonally from the top left to the bottom right. Don't worry. I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show you. It's going to look just like this. For those of y'all who are on TikTok, you're going to write your name in small lowercase letters diagonally, top left, and it's going to go down to the bottom right. Hold on, podcast people. Y'all see that? I got to get up here. Yeah, there we go. Got to block it from the green screen. See that, podcast people? Damn it, man. Why are my lights not working? There you go. There you go, podcast people. Y'all should see that. There you go. You're going to write it diagonally from the top left to the bottom right. You write this on the stamp. Now, you write this in that fine point red Sharpie or red ink pen and make sure that it prints. You can't have any skips. It has to be all one stroke done. So when you're doing this, make sure you take your time to do it. Old language did not write in cursive. Remember when we talk about linguistics and phonetics. And that's going off into another school of thought about writing in cursive. That is a curse. That's why no other language spells their words. We talked about that last night. We don't cast spells. You got to be careful. Even if you, when you read the book called Bible, it says, out of the mouth, you can speak things into existence, which I'm going to give y'all that tip too for free, like I give to all of my clients. Invest in you. If you're going to live this life, when you go buy your Sharpies and your ink pad, get you some of these. These little sticky notes need to be everywhere. All over your house, in your car, at your locker at work, on the line that you work at. And you're going to be writing your affirmations of why you're doing this. So everywhere you look, this is the part in the business world to where you are forcing yourself now to have an objective and a goal to shoot for. Like some people shoot for Friday. Today, Monday, they can't wait till Friday. They can't see past Friday. They have no plan. Man, what you gonna do this weekend? Oh. The average person don't have a 2 to 3 or 3 to 5 year plan. You need to write you one. Because if you don't remind yourself why you're doing this, don't keep it in your head. In your head means absolutely nothing. You need to see and hold yourself accountable what you wrote on these notes. It needs to be on your bathroom mirror. It needs to be on the inside of your bedroom door. So when you walk out of your bedroom, you go, bang, I'm doing this to set my family free. You going in there watching your face in the morning. As soon as you get the cat butter out your eyes and brush your teeth, and you need to see that on the mirror. I'm doing this to set my family free. Y'all hear what I said? I didn't say nothing about doing it for the money. I didn't say nothing about doing it for the money. Money is easy to make. Money is the byproduct of the work that you are going to do. The money is coming if you do the work. Money ain't hard to make. But it's what you speak out of your mouth that makes money run from you. Somebody asks you how you doing? You always need to one up them. Remember, out of a man's mouth, what he speaks, you are putting words into the universe. You can rewrite your whole life by speaking the right words into existence. The book called Bible says, and I ain't trying to be preachy. I'm not. But I use the Bible in a lot of, even when I'm speaking on stage, I make a lot of references from the biblical text because that's the one book that the average person can relate to. I don't care about your faith or your religion. Because if y'all don't pay attention to my name, my last name is Muhammad. But I use scriptural text because everybody has heard it at some point in time. Let's move on. So now, when you autograph that, now somebody should have been asking the question, well, what's the ink pad for? Ta-da! No, the right one. Your right thumb is what you got the ink pad for. So when you autograph, when you autograph this thing, now you take your right thumb, put it on that ink pad, and bam. One needs to go on the stamp and one needs to go to the right of the stamp. Somebody should have a question. Why red? When they taught us in school to use black or blue. Black ink in contracts denotes dead. So when you have been endorsing stuff and putting your signature on stuff, you have said it is final. And you have contractually locked yourself in to all of those paragraphs that you didn't read. It's over with. Now it's a wrap. It's a wrap at that point. That black ink, ladies and gentlemen, something as significant, we never even paid attention to it. We just knew that the teacher told us to use black or blue ink when we did all of our reports. I honestly believe the teacher didn't even know. Because if our educational system knew, why would anybody want to be a teacher? Think about that for a minute. The top 25% of the wealth in the world had a teacher. What do you think they learned? They had professors in college, those that didn't drop out. Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard. Do you understand what that is? What that means? That is a slap in the face of every college professor at Harvard, a prestigious university, not a college, university. Remember I told y'all linguistics, words? There's a difference between university and college. It's not the same thing. Mark Zuckerberg slapped all of those professors with tenure and said, y'all can't teach me nothing. Now, was he right or was he wrong? He was right. Because he's the third richest man in the world, and those teachers are still at Harvard teaching. Top out salary for an educator at Harvard is $425,000. And this man is worth $258 billion. So now you got to go back all the way back to J.D. Rockefeller, who is the creator of the Board of Education. See, when you started getting on this journey, you can't help but start reading more. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us that the best place to hide knowledge is in a book. Why? Because we don't want to read. We want somebody to give us the game. And then we don't know how to protect it, and we lose it. And then we blame the person that gave us the game. Man, you ain't tell me everything. You didn't ask. You wanted me to do it for you. This is why I don't teach. I know I went all the way around the world to prove that point, but this is why I don't do it for you. Because how can you protect it if I set it up? You need to know how to do your own bookkeeping. You need to know how to write your own minutes for your business, which is mandatory. Don't sit up here and think you skating by you to have, man, I done had a business 20 years. If the IRS come a knocking and they say we need to see your minutes, and you don't know what the hell they talking about, did y'all know they can dissolve your LLC? They can take it. And then all that money your business made, that now becomes earned income for you. And bam, boy, they finna grease they finna grease their whole arm up, and they finna give it to you. They gonna give it to you like DMX. And they finna backdate all those years, and you just got earned income credit. Now they finna hit you with another tax. All because you wasn't keeping your business minutes. You need to keep business minutes every month. Remember when you was on the job and y'all had them corny meetings that was in the cafeteria and everybody had to sign that paper? Now y'all thought that y'all was signing that paper to prove that you went to the meeting. No. That was records for the business to prove that they had their monthly meetings. See, in order for you to own a business, run a business, you need to know how to run a business. You can't run a business still thinking like an employee. Now, how are we able, I got 15 minutes. How are we able, Muhammad, to autograph our bills? First thing you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, you need to take back ownership of your name. Yep, I said that. I did not stop. For as long as you've been alive, you don't own your name. For as long as you have had your earthly, worldly possessions, you don't own that either. See, the Matrix fed you the illusion that the name that your parents gave you was yours. Because your parents sold you to the United States of America. And you, in return, became a citizen. Change that word for slave. I ain't no slave. I make $185,000 a year. Okay, you a high-paid slave. You a high-paid slave. You don't own your name, ladies and gentlemen. You don't own, if you have bought a house. Well, if you are under the illusion of thinking that you own that house, you bought a house. Let me tell you something. You were only given one document, the deed. That was it. You were only given the deed. Your first mistake was you didn't read all 200 pages of that contract. You were just so happy and excited. You just went to signing, directing all of that debt back to you. You were just so happy because that's what our parents told us. You need to buy something and put your name on it. Lie. That's the biggest lie. That's the biggest trick in the Matrix that it ever was, to put your name on anything. Why? When you put your name on it, you own it. And what happens to things that you own? You get taxed. Now, the document, the most important of those documents when you thought you bought your house, The bank kept it. The bank holds the mortgage. They don't care who got the deed. The deed don't mean nothing when they got the lien contract. This is why you don't own that house. Now, here's the funny part. The bank don't own your house either. The bank borrowed money from your securities trust. Y'all don't believe that. See, this is what happens when you start reading. The power of reading. When you start reading things, now you start understanding. Well, no, change that. Phonetics and linguistics. Now you start overstanding. We don't understand nothing. We don't stand under nothing in this private life. We don't understand nothing. We overstand. You got to get into the habit and the practice of using the right words and the right terms. We talked about the difference between traveling and driving. Your driver's license, anybody ever wonder why you go to the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, which is under the federal government? It's a corporate entity under the corporate entity of the United States of America. But who do you go to when you need a passport? The one that goes all over the world. The post office. Y'all are now starting to see the power of the post office. Your driver's license only covers land. Only. Now, unless they done made a car boat that can go across to Europe, I ain't seen one. Unless they done made a car that can fly to Europe, fly to Africa, fly to Canada, well, yeah, I haven't seen one. But your passport has more power than your driver's license. Because that passport covers land, air, and water. If you've ever gone outside of the country, they don't ask you for your damn driver's license. They ask for them papers. And y'all know what they mean when they say you got your papers. They want that passport. They don't ask you, when they ask you where are you from, you don't say I'm from Tampa, Florida. You say, when you are abroad and outside of the country, you say, I'm from the United States. Because you are not a citizen of Tampa, Florida. I'm not a citizen of Tampa, Florida. I'm a citizen of the United States. That's why that passport has power. And if you don't have a passport, you need to get one. And don't let them folks trick you, or don't try to be cheap and get the passport card. You want the passport book. The book. It's $35 more to get that book. But they're going to try to tell you, oh, get the card because we can issue that the same day. They know what you're doing, ladies and gentlemen, when you start this process. So first thing you need to do, you need to take back ownership of your name. I got 5 minutes. You need to take back ownership of your name. Then we're going to start getting into the questions. And how you take ownership of your name? You got to LLC your name. And when you LLC your name, you fill out that LLC registration with your name in all capital letters. No cursive, no capitalized first letter, lowercase the rest of them. No, your whole name needs to be block capital. Print. So for all of you ladies out there who came up with y'all own alphabet, y'all be doing these little cute letters, don't do that. And you can't type it. You have to write it. Well, if you're filing it online, I mean, I teach my clients how to do it online. If you the guys, for those of you who watching and y'all interested, y'all want to learn how I teach my clients, I can have you set up properly in 1 hour. So where all you got to do is go to the bank in the morning and open up your new business bank account with your name in all caps. So I at that point, I took ownership of my name and I turned my name into a corporate entity. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, you don't even know you are a corporate entity. You have been operating as a corporate entity for as long as you have been working a job. Huh? What is the function of a job? Or what is the function of an employee? To exchange, as an employee, you are trading your time for dollars. In the business world, it is the exchange of goods and services. When you become your own corporate entity, you are the service. So in this regard, and I'm gonna give y'all free game, man. I'm giving y'all a lot of free game. When you register your name as a business, and so it'll be Robert Muhammad LLC. That gave me the power and the leverage. I never fill out an application. Never. I submit contracts. Y'all have seen some of my videos to where I'm in that truck. I don't work for nobody. I work for me. I contract. So now I have partners. This is how businesses work with each other. We have a business partnership. There is not a check on record in the past 12 years where no company that I contracted with wrote a check out to Robert Muhammad. Oh no. I take that thing right back in. Hey, y'all got to reissue this one. Y'all need to issue that check to RDM Business Group, LLC, because you contracted with RDM Business Group. Now, if you're going to LLC your name, they would have to issue that check with your name in all block letters. LLC. That LLC has so much power. I don't care what nobody on social media is saying. Oh, you need to be an INC or a CO. They telling you to put the cart before the horse. You need to stay at LLC one until you learn what you're doing in the world of business. Don't let nobody make you move fast. Because when you start moving fast and you don't know what the hell you're doing, you finna get locked up and everything, them folks finna come and seize everything that you got. Don't move fast. This is why they call business scaling. You want to scale, but as your business scales, your information and knowledge should be scaling. This is why I work with my clients at least 6 months to a year for that little 247. That right there tell y'all, hey, I'm not in this for no money charging y'all thousands of dollars. Yes, I charge you for my time because I paid for it. I paid for it dearly with a lot of trial and error and mistakes. Coming out of Gadsden, Alabama, man, that crabs in the bucket, that thing is real. But then I come to learn they didn't know. How can you tell somebody how to set up a business when they don't know? If you have a business, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. You don't need to write yourself a check. Why? When you write yourself a check out of your business, that now counts as earned income. Now you paying business tax and personal tax. Why would you want to shoot yourself in the foot like that? You might well just take a sawed-off shotgun pump action and blow both of your feet off. You don't want to own anything. You want to control it. I don't want to own nothing. I told y'all that was the biggest trick that we were told ever since we were little shorties. Put your name on something. It's no business person successful business person. They name ain't on nothing. Why? That X factor. Let's just say the business flop. You can always close, shut down, go out of business. And then turn right back around and open up another one. And it don't hit your personal credit. Another trick, don't let them folks make you co-sign your own business. That EIN number, that is your business's social security number. It has its own power. And it's 9 digits, just like your social. Your passport number is 9 digits, just like your social. They serve as their. Did y'all know that your business credit is not even governed by TransUnion Equifax or Experian? If you set it up right. When they make you get them business debit cards, yeah, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian tear your mouth out. Your business credit is gauged by Duns and Bradstreet, most notably known as your Duns number. Create you one when you set up your business. Because your personal credit, even if you got a 900 credit score, which nobody gonna have a 900 credit score, every month your credit goes up and down. Every month. Why? Because there's 2 dates. I'm gonna drop y'all this free game too. You have a bill date and you have a due date. And I don't care who you are. If you've been paying your bills on time on the due date, you already 7 to 10 days late. The bill date comes out on the 1st. And then they be asking you, oh, well, when do you want us to send the bill out? Man, let me get it on the 15th. Now you 15 days behind and your credit is on a roller coaster. Oh, you're paying it. You ain't waiting till the 30th. You ain't getting no late fees, but it's already late. Fact check me on that. I ain't telling you no lie. You're already late if you paid after the 1st. But like everybody else, most common people try to pay all your major bills between the 1st and the 3rd. Some people between the 1st and the 5th. And you said, oh, I'm good. Nah, you're already late. I'm home at. But anyway, all right, then we're going to get up into these questions. Because now, here we go. Once you LLC your name, you're taking ownership back. Next thing you're going to do, now you're going to file for that long form birth certificate. You got to go through your Secretary of State that you were born in. That's the long form. The one that's in your possession, that's the short form. The long form is the one that got your little baby feet, baby hands on it. That bears your soul, your divinity. Now you're under divine law because remember the power of that stamp, that thumbprint stamp, your little baby feet and your baby hands. Yeah, most people don't even know your foot has a print, just like your hands do. And they never change from birth. Now, your feet might be ashy as hell, might got some bunions and corns on them, but your footprint still the same. There's 3 things on your body that never changes from the time you were born to the time you die. Your handprint, your footprint, and your eyeballs. Your eyeballs are the same size they were on the day you were born. Ladies and gentlemen, when you start reading, you learn. This is what we call closing the gap. Now, closing the gap is actually a play on words because the more you start learning this life, you are increasing the gap. And you are going to leave a lot of people, your day ones, you're going to leave them behind because the more you learn, they ain't trying to learn. But the more you learn, that gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Y'all can start writing your questions and dropping your questions in. Now, the only way this gap can close is either A, they're going to start learning and come up the ladder with you, or they're going to start playing the family game. Oh, come on, fam. Man, hook your cuz up with a jaw. They're going to play the wife game, the husband game. You ain't never at home, and I'm sitting here. I feel like I got a roommate. What? Y'all better know what you're doing when you try to live this life. You're going to lose a lot of people. And if you don't develop the mentality, the ideology, and the theology, you got to make this thing a religion. That those who fall off, they wasn't strong enough to be in the car with you in the first place. And you're going to have to learn how to master the word no. So the only way this gap gonna close, and 98.99% of the time, you done made it all the way up here, then quit your job, set yourself free, got money coming in, and then boom. My most successful client was making more money than me in a business that I didn't even believe in. But hey, being an advisor, I had to give her the information. That thing took off. Boy, I was mad. She didn't have enough money to pay me to take the class. That thing took off. But what happened? She let that man got in her ear. With that 400 credit score, she had a 490 credit score. And she was doing $30,000 to $35,000 a month. She was killing it. She was killing it. She never fixed her credit. See, that's trying to be a boss, playing boss, but still thinking like an employee. Because that money will get you drunk. And then you thinking, now I'm making the money. I don't care about credit. Boy, she let that man got in that ear. And she done started buying cars and jewelry and Jordans and forgot about her business. Then here comes the repo man. Your first year of business, you don't need to buy nothing unless it's absolutely necessary. Let's get to these questions. All right. Do you have a list of courses that you can send me in the recommended order to take them? Yes. If you go onto my Facebook page, which is RDM Business Group, you can go on there. My whole entire back page, that not the profile picture, but background picture. I have over 14 different courses. The first thing that you want to do is get legal. On either let me give y'all this. You're going to create 5 businesses. You need to. That's the proper structure of setting up your hierarchy in businesses. Your trust is going to be the top one. That's the bank. This is why I don't teach bank loans. You don't need a bank loan. If you have less than 75 employees, and if you don't have at least a 10,000 square foot building, you don't need no damn bank loan. You need to start looking at your bank statement and start cutting out stuff that you're throwing away money. Left hand cigarettes and spirits, both, until you get to where you're going. Trust me, family, you ain't gonna die. I know people, man, they buying a 3.5 in 2 days. Talking about they want to be a bit. No, you don't. No, you don't. Nope. No, you don't. So yes, you can look on my Facebook page. I know I still have to finish my first one. Okay. Well, whenever you're ready, Michael Davis, I'm right here with you, man. Oh yeah, brother, because you've already paid your service. You told me you needed to take a break. You had some things going on. So yeah, you still good. Uh, now let's get to TikTok. What questions do TikTok have? What choices? Let me go back through this thing. Um, you got a flash. Oh, don't need that. I'm trying to get to the questions on TikTok. You guys can still be dropping them. One new message. There we go. I see how it is. Where is it? We don't do no invites. Is the process of the stamp. It's what we put on the bills or the back of the license. All right, now on your driver's license, that's a whole separate entity, a whole separate thing. I'm trying to I want to give you the best understanding, so you don't be playing the hokey pokey with your privatization, private citizenship, and being in public life. All right, I have businesses like you guys have probably saw on my social media page. I have a private transportation business. I'm partnered in a private transportation business. I can't be private because that private transportation business is under and governed by the DMV, the Department of Transportation, the DOT. So with that business, I can't drive that commercial vehicle and under a private citizen. So you got to decide what businesses you are trying to create. If you are a trucker or you're trying to get a hot shot run, you can't be a private citizen. I need to do some research on that. I need to do research on that. But as of right now, to my understanding, you have to have that CDL, which is a commercial driver's license, and that's not private. Now, your company can be privately owned, but you are still driving on the public roadways. See, that's what I mean by when these people be doing these videos. I ain't driving. I'm traveling. But you traveling on the public road system that was paid with taxpayers' money. You can't do that. So unless you done found a dirt road somewhere in your city or in your state that don't even have a name for it, that's traveling on a private road. But if that street got a name, an asphalt, blacktop, tar, or whatever, if it got a name to it, that's owned by the Department of Transportation. And now that is for interstate commerce, which is another federal entity. So you can't ride on a public road as a private citizen. You fall under the laws of that system. So if you're going out there and you speeding and you thinking that them folks can't stop you, yes. Not only can they stop you, they can deport your ass. Because you're in the system of the United States no more. That's why I told y'all, you got to be careful what you're doing when you're talking about private. When you come from under the amendments, you are no longer a citizen. That's why you got to claim a nationality. You got to claim a nationality. Most people, especially the people of color, they claim the Moroccan nationality under the Moroccan Empire because it ruled the world for 300 years. So most people claim Moroccan. Now, for those of us who are melanated people in the United States, we don't know what the hell country we from. Our blood has been so diluted by the beach, we don't know where the hell we from. And if you're trying to claim a native origin, when you start messing with that tribal council, boy, when you start messing with that tribal council, that's their own government. The tribal council does not give two hoops and torment about the United States of America federal government law. Once you on that res, boy, you better have surefire proof. And it ain't just because your grandmama had straight waving hair or she was red skinned. Yeah, I bet, man. But when you mess with that tribal council, y'all better be thinking before y'all that gonna put you a Cherokee native on them, or you a Choctaw native. You claiming Choctaw and you in Alabama, man, boy, wrong. You were born in Alabama, and all your family from Alabama, and you trying to claim Navajo? We don't. The average melanated person don't even know how many native tribes that it was because they were all over the country. Some native tribes were so small, they have a little bitty paragraph. And especially those on the southern border that started intermixing intermixing with the Hispanic family. Huh? So you got to be careful when you start doing on this journey. I'm not telling nobody not to do it. I'm telling you, this is why information. This is why I give you information. The information is what is going to be the difference of you being successful and you being broke. This is why I touched on that a little bit yesterday. Wealthy people don't have health insurance. They operate at their trust. I can change anybody's net worth from what currently your net worth as a citizen of the United States. Your net worth is what you make annually on your job. That's all you work. That's why it don't matter if you got a 900 credit score. You can't get no more money than what you are worth. How you gonna pay it back? You making $135,000 a year, but you want to go out here and buy a house that's $500,000. That ain't gonna work. No, that's not gonna work. How you gonna pay it back? You don't make enough money to pay for the house. You can't be out here making $85,000 a year, and then you trying to go out here and drop $200,000 on a Bentley. That ain't gonna work. Most people are so concerned with their credit score, but they pay no attention to their FICO score. Your FICO score is the one that the underwriters look at. Because your FICO score governs and gauges your credit to debt ratio after living expenses. So when this is why when you go and you're trying to get loans and buying cars and buying houses, they tell you to list all of your utilities. And then they say, well, how much do you make from your job? Then now this is what they get slick at. They say give you the monthly. Monthly. They don't ever ask for annual, they ask for monthly. Because that's easy for people who are employees to sit there. Oh man, I make $700 a week. So 700 times 4, that's $2,800. You don't make enough money. Free game. When you start doing your business, the magic number is $10,000 to $15,000 a month. If your business ain't doing $10,000 to $15,000 a month, they're gonna make it hard for you. This is why y'all got to take my course so I can tell you how to get that. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, are there any more questions? I got 16 new messages. All right, let's get to them. Hold on. I said I'm gonna make my word bond. Let me get to them. You have a CDL. Okay, if you have a CDL, now That's going to be hard. I would love to talk with you offline because I'm going to have to do some research to find out how that works because that CDL is attached to the DOT and you can't play around with that. You can't sit here and be private without no CDL driving that big rig, as far as I know. Remember, I told you, I ain't gonna never lie to nobody. I don't know the full answer, but I will have you an answer. You can inbox me your email, and when I get the answer, give me 48 hours. I will email you the answer with all of the links and the information for you to read it for yourself. Don't never take nobody's word for nothing. Go back and always research it for yourself. Let's get it right down here again. Man, whatever, a lot of mess. Okay, there's a process of the stamp. Put on the back. Okay, now this is what I'm going to get to about the license. When you put the stamp, the reason why I got that $1 stamp on the back of my license, in the event I get pulled over or I run into a roadblock. Now, it's not just the fact of putting the stamp on the license. You got to have that stamp canceled. And what I mean by canceled, you got to have the stamp, put that stamp on there, that postage stamp, the little circle. That's what they mean by canceling that stamp. Now, at that point, I am an agent of the post office. Listen to the linguistics and the phonetics. I don't work for the post office. Don't let that police officer jam you up because that's fraud. You are impersonating a federal worker if you say you work for the post office. You just made a traffic stop a whole lot worse by trying to be all loud. And man, that's what I hate, man. They be all loud and all in the police face. Sometimes, family, we are our own worst enemy. What you stopping me for? Man, shut your damn mouth. Now he got he got the whole car empty and we stressed out. He can't be pulling us over, man. Y'all know y'all got some friends like that. I ain't the only one. But anyway, that stamp, that cancel stamp, I can say that I am an agent. I am operating in my duties, and they're going to ask you, what you mean you are agent? I am delivering that mail because when they got that stamp and it's canceled, it's now mail. I am delivering that mail to that address. Where are you going? I'm delivering that mail to that address. Where do you come from? Come from picking up that mail to take it to that address. See how you don't change the script. Don't get agitated. Don't get irritated. This is what y'all got to remember, man. The average police officer, he's just a high school graduate. They don't know a damn thing about law. They only know how to enforce policy. Why? Because they work for a municipality. The municipality is the city's corporate entity. And through issuing tickets, listen to the word, the ticket is a bill. And the bill has a number attached that you have to pay and makes it a debt. Well, if y'all took my course, I can tell y'all how to make that police officer pay that ticket. And that's real. Stop signing tickets. When you sign that ticket, that's an admission of guilt automatically. Now, case in point, under the law, you get pulled over and they issue you a ticket. Under the law, you have the right to face your accuser. But when you go to traffic court, the police officer ain't even there, the one that wrote you the ticket. So who did you offend? Y'all see how that works? Who did you offend? The city wrote you a ticket, so by right, I can ask that judge, who is not technically a judge, they just a lawyer who filling in. You have the right to tell that judge, I need to issue subpoenas to all 2.2 million citizens of Tampa, Florida, and have them come to court and express to the judge how I offended them on such and such a night or such and such a day that this ticket was issued. The city, the police officers are civil servants of the city. They are standing in, they're supposed to be standing in place of that. But if he was not injured or caused bodily harm, who was affected? It's a different thing if you out there and you have a wreck. Well, it's the law. The speed limit is the law. No, it's not. No, it's not. The speed limit is a suggestion. If the speed limit wasn't a suggestion, there would not be a such thing as the flow of traffic, moving with the flow of traffic. Now, but that's what that stamp on the back of your driver's license is for, sister. It makes you an agent of the post office and will get you out of a lot of tickets if you just keep repeating, I am delivering that mail to that address, and keep it moving. Own nothing, control everything. That's the magic words right there. And most people don't even get that. Most people don't even get own nothing, control it. You want to control it. Here's the simple fact in the breakdown. When you create these businesses, never list yourself as the owner. Never list yourself as the sole proprietor. That's taking ownership. No, we don't do that. Jeff Bezos, that's the best example. Jeff Bezos is not the owner of Amazon. Not on paper. We all know he owns it. But on that paperwork, he is the CEO and president. Now, why would the second richest man in the world make himself an employee? CEO and president are employee titles, or in this regard, contracted 1099s, because that's the form that you will, that's the tax paperwork that you're going to fill out when you start living this life. You ain't going to fill out no more W-2, W-4, and I-9s and all that. No, yeah. We 1099 contract workers. And this is our salary. This is what we will do. This is how many hours I work. Like my contract state, I'm going to put in 45 hours a week. I don't get overtime, but this is my salary. I don't care nothing about holidays. So if y'all off for a holiday, my contract say I still get paid. As long as I fulfill my 40 hours a week, 45 hours a week contract. I can't bring any bad press or bad publicity or bad reputation or any negative image or harm to that company. So as long as I stay within my contract, they can't fire me. Now, on the flip side, I can't quit either, because that's breach of contract. This is why when you write these contracts, I teach my clients how to do that. I ain't even gonna give y'all all that for free. Anyway, family, thank you guys for tuning in, man. Hold up, better copyright, trademark, and claim them right of interest. Now, this is what you want to do. You don't need to copyright your name. You need to trademark your name. Now, when you become an LLC, when you LLC your name, you also need to create a logo. You need 5. I don't get y'all that game. Damn. See, I'm talking too much. But you need 5 logos. Y'all can research that and find out which logos you need to have for your business. So what you do, you add the logo into your name, and then you trademark that. You copyright music, poems, books. You copyright stuff like that. See, you got to learn. It's actually a whole lot of, because you will copyright. You have a copyright. You have a trademark, and then you also have you will see that a registration and a patent. You need to start looking up what these words mean, because the words have power. You don't want to go start copyrighting your name, and that don't mean nothing. You want to trademark the name. And then I'm gonna drop this into y'all too, because this is in my next book that's coming out. And y'all buy the book, be out in April. I tell you in the book how you can put a lien on yourself. Woo! And you can run the bag up on that lien. You can put a lien on yourself up to 100 million. Just Google it. That's what you can do. You ain't got to believe me. Listen to me now. Believe me later on. You can put a lien on yourself. Now, what does that do, Muhammad? That puts you on the do not detain list. It's a list that goes all over the country where you cannot be detained when you become a diplomat. Man, let me get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in, family. Hey, listen, if y'all want to take this course and learn this information, I'm giving y'all enough juice, man, for y'all to go back and research. And again, I want people to fact check me, because when you fact check me, when you get those facts back, then it becomes actual facts, and actual facts start developing and building and creating trust. I don't care what coach or influencer or anybody that's out there. They need to be living what they are talking. I've given y'all enough information for y'all to ask them questions. You are entitled to ask questions. If these people can't tell you, man, boy, I'll see y'all on the next one, family. Peace. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for the love and the support. I'll see y'all on the next one. Keep tuning in, man. My normal podcast is on Mondays at 7 p.m. But I was just overwhelmed with gratitude because you guys showed so much love and asked so many questions from last night's live that I felt I had to do a part 2. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.